Puncture repair on the Brompton. First, undo the gear shift chain, loosen the nut, not too much, but loosen the nut, just a turn, and then undo the big one on the end of the cable to release the gear shift mechanism in there. Second, undo the two wheel nuts on the outside. Uh-oh, I don't think this is the right spanner for this one. There we go. I'm going to have to start over and I'll go get it. There we go. Remove. You have to remove the gear change chain as well on the 3-speed, so just untwist that anti-clockwise and remove that with the nut. Unhook the chain by pushing down the chain tensioner and winkle out the chain from there, and then the chain tensioner will come off the hub assembly. Remove the other wheel nut that's underneath. Both sides should be free for the wheel to drop out after you remove the brake pads. Oh, I might need to get that. I think you can get away with removing just one. And then the wheel should slide out. You can unhook the chain, do your puncture repair. When on reassembly, you've got a slotted washer that fits into the dropout. So, reassembly, reverse order, chain on this drive sprocket, offer up the wheel, locating the slotted washers in the dropouts on either side, and make sure when you put it together that the washers are in the dropout and that they don't slide past the dropout, so the washers are in the dropout. You can center up the wheel and do the two nuts up. You now need to fit the chain tensioner, which goes on to the dropout, like that. I find it a little bit easier to put the nut and assembly in first. Now here's put the chain stirring thing through the nut, through the actual nut itself, and put the threads into the axle. Push it on in there till they get to the bottom, and then just start to twizzle to catch the threads. Turn it all the way in till it stops. It stops there, but it doesn't line up with the gear change. So undo it half a turn or so till it lines up to that, like that. And then do up your 3-speed, the other axle nut, which should hold the chain tensioner and everything in place. You can undo your nut up. Oops. This is actually an imperial thread on this one. It doesn't need to be mega tight, it's just holding the chain tensioner in place so you're not going to lose it. That's free to then go back into. Loosen off your gear change at the trigger so you're in third gear, so you've got as much slack as you can in the cable. And then you can just, if you haven't moved that nut too much, it should just twizzle back into back into the position that it likes, or that the gear selection should be the correct gear selection. So that just goes back there. Now I've tightened up all the nuts, hopefully, and it should be ready. Now you've still got slack chain, so just take up some of the slack, open out the chain tension. You got to slide it past and wink it past the guide disc again. Oops. And then it should go back into place like that. And don't forget to put your brake shoe back in place, otherwise you'll run down the road. If you've got the original ones or these ancient ones, the washer goes underneath the head of the nut. Start it into the shoe, and then with a handy friend or somebody, they can either put the brake on, or you can just line it up with the rim. Make sure it doesn't go over the rim and onto the tire, otherwise as it wears you'll get a puncture. Check that lines up. There we go. Should be ready to go. Take off your latex rubber gloves. Always carry a pair of latex rubber gloves with you, so you can do that. And that should be first gear. Second. There we go. So, should I have a go?